Welcome to the IVM Podcast Network.
All right, please note that the language and ideas presented on the show might not be suitable for everyone. If you're under 18, make sure your mom isn't around. If you're over 80, why is your mom around?
You're listening to Cyrus Says.
All right, we're going to meet Rishi Lalwani and his lovely wife Simran. They're runners, they're marathoners. He's an ironman expert. Why would somebody do that to their life? Swim, run, and cycle when there's no war going on? Let's find out.
Why follow your auntie's advice when you can follow Cyrus Says on Facebook and Twitter to stay updated about the latest shows?
Okay, here on Cyrus Says, one of the things that have plagued me all year is the marathoners in South Mumbai. They run up and down the slopes where I live, and now they've started terrorizing the community by running in the middle of the road. Here I am in my car at 6 in the morning, and I'm told by them to move to the side. Yesterday I ran over two, and I must tell you, it made me happy once again to be a man. Because I cannot be the motorist and drive on the pavement. You have to run on the pavement. Let me have the road. It's called Cyrus Says.
And that's what Cyrus Says.
Hey guys, welcome to the show, and let me tell you, the show is called Cyrus Says, like I've said in the beginning, but this show is about you, Rishi, and your lovely wife, because you guys represent the marathon community, and how dare you come here? I have so many fights with marathon people. It's a war. It's my own personal jihad. You have no idea what's going on here.
Good morning, Cyrus. I think at least I'm not the one who's been run over by you.
Boss,
because I have
jokes
now,
apart, man. You guys are scary.
I have now changed to cycling and swimming, so I don't think
No. We'll come to Ironman. We will come in detail. Do not run away from the fact that you train for running. Let me. And hello, the cycles are the next guys I'm after. By the way, now it was Sunday morning culture. Now it's every day, all the time. First it was Parsi Dairy guys from UP.
Yes.
You felt bad for them. You helped them. I would sit Pillen and go with them for a drive on Marine Drive. But now it's all these guys with fancy headgear.
We take away the 2 lanes on the Marine Drive too now.
How can you wear those shorts and sit on a cycle? I mean, really, man, come on. I mean, I've been to Shamak Dabar classes as a dancer, but there's a limit to tights. There's a limit. Okay, but let's start in the beginning. Let me explain to everybody who you guys are. Rishi Lalwani, you are now the front face of Ironman culture in India. Coming from affluent society and turning your back on business to waste time running and swimming and cycling at this time in your life. I mean, you're going to take us through all these experiences. And your lovely wife is a marathoner?
Yes, she is.
And her name is?
Simran Lalwani.
Simran Lalwani. And just very quickly, before all this happened, you guys, neither of you were running in your teens or in your 20s or anything, is it?
No, never. We never used to run. It's all actually...
You ran away from each other?
Yeah, we were running away.
That's what got me into
it. Actually, we did start running 6 years back. But going a little bit more further was we met Savio a few years back.
We'd have to play the relevant music when you mention Savio, because this is the love track that comes in. No? Because for those who don't know about Savio, who live outside the Mumbai experience, Savio is the big name that brings... He's the guru.
He's the guru for everyone who runs.
And he wears the shortest shorts in India.
Yes,
he wears a handkerchief, and the government should take action and arrest Savio. Because whatever he has inside that handkerchief is revealed to everybody every morning on the streets of Worli, Marine Drive, Baikala, University Grounds, Priyadarshini Park, Hanging Gardens. Savio should be banned, or at least cover up. Cover up, Savio. Cover up.
So we did meet him, and we told him that, okay, we'll start from tomorrow.
But how did you meet him?
We just met him once on Marine Drive.
Saw almost naked man running around.
We just saw him once on Marine Drive, and we spoke to him, and we said, we'll be there tomorrow. But it took us 10 years. But it took us 10 years to reach.
But what was the reason? You wanted to get fit? Take us back to what you were doing.
The idea was, of course, to get fitter like how everyone is. Like you go to Marine Drive early morning, you see a lot of people walking. Even women in saris with...
Can I tell you what I see in the morning? Before you guys came and changed the culture with this revolution of running, what we used to see early morning are these guys wearing ganjis, middle-aged guys, fat guys, outside all the grounds, the cricket grounds, Parsi, Islam, all that. They'd be standing there, holding one nostril and breathing for 5 minutes, then raising one leg for about 3 minutes. In fact, I used to do a show called Bakra, a candid camera show, where we actually shot some of these guys and we interviewed them, and they were hilarious. Because I couldn't understand why you'd wake up at 4 in the morning, come from far away to Marine Drive and stand around on one leg and one arm thinking you're doing some major exercise.
Well,
so
things are changing now, and I would say Savio is one of the persons who has changed and got people out early in the morning. Yeah, he is amazing.
He's 100 years old now and he can outrun everybody. He's always smiling.
Everyone.
Why is he always smiling? He's so happy.
He's just killing everyone behind him, right? Who all are running with him.
And I've noticed he's always talking while he runs.
That's very tough to do. It's really tough to do at the speed that he runs, and he's still able to manage to talk.
But you can tell it's him because the others have their hands on their ears while they're running with him,
Or their hands on their hips trying to just keep up with the pain that
he's
they're
amazing.
having.
How old is he right now? Time of recording, 60 plus, 62,
62, 63.
And he can still outpace most people.
Yes.
Simran hasn't said a word. How do you get such a lovely wife? Mine goes on talking all the time. I've tried everything. Remote control, raps, rolls, everything. Nothing works.
Well, I think you're here and you're talking more than her, so she's quite wondering
For some reason, it's like being in college. The men do all the talking. The woman's just smiling at us and running away. Okay, Simran, come on. Let's hear your perspective. So you saw Savio wearing his handkerchief running and nothing else running on Marine Drive. You guys thought, let's get fit for whatever reason. And just on a lark, you met him and you all started running, is it?
Yes, that's how. Those days there were very few runners. And those 3-4 runners used to only run with Savio.
And they were like competitive runners, right? Good level.
No, everyone started with the idea of getting fit, but then it starts hitting you that let's start getting better, and that's how competitive
nature of the human being. That's why I don't like you runners. You disgust me with your competitive attitude. And my wife comes home after everything and tries to act all very democratic and egalitarian and relaxed about it and say, "Maine ye kiya, ye point tha, ye timing tha, whatever." And then at the end of it,
I think a lot of
the position. I won't take names. The positions come out. I beat Rupa. I mean, she was 3 spots behind me. But try not to act like it's a big deal. But I said how childish and petty it is. And we are still in school and still happy to beat one neighbor who's got one leg left that functions in most cases. Coming back to Simran, I interrupted you. So you joined Savio. What did he make you do the first day? Sudden silence. Was it very awkward what he made you do?
No,
now, madam, take off clothes. We are going to run.
Well, he told us to run and
told us you have to talk and run.
This is before Idea came out with their mobile phone advertising blitz.
The first day, I just did 500 meters. I just ran till Air India building.
Was it a swimming contest or running?
Running. But I think I started from NCPA at the end of Marine Drive. I just reached Air India building and
asked for a job.
I said, I'm walking back.
Were you fat?
A little bit. I was on the
larger side.
Yeah, on the larger
And you were not a runner ever before school, college, 20s, 30s?
I used to run, but not something that I had never run in kilometers ever.
Yeah, so you just...
Like 200 meters is what the school...
running to catch the bus or the train like most Indians surviving this lovely culture. And what about you, Simran? Did you run as a younger person?
No, I've never run before. I had asthma, so
what are you saying?
It is always aggravate.
Oh, wow. Can you breathe now?
The doctor used to frighten her. Don't run at all.
Yes, I have to give an exemption.
You know the most famous person who had asthma? Darth Vader in Star Wars. Most famous asthma victim of all time. And see where he's reached so well. Done so well. Okay, let's get back to running. Yeah. Like, see, I have an awkward moment with my guest. So, you had asthma, but you were allowed to run?
No, I couldn't run because every time I used to run, I used to get an attack.
So, how did you manage?
That's how Savio taught me, to talk and run. So, I was running much slower.
Are you serious?
Yes.
So, you actually had asthma and you continued running and you were able to, overcome it?
I used to run very fast. So, I couldn't keep up. So then when Savio taught me how to run slower
than pace yourself, is it?
Yes. So when you talk, you run slower than your pace and you're comfortable.
You brought up a very good point. See, for us non-runners, I think we rubbish it a lot because it's like singing or dancing where you think it's damn easy. Because it seems like an obvious art form, running, haath upar, pair aage, ho gaya. But it's much more than that. There's so much more to the art of the technique of running. If you
start going deeper into it, there's quite a bit of science involved in running too, I would say, in terms of any sport.
So mind-muscle connection, which we don't even make, is what you're saying, right? Come on, so Simran, who's the faster runner out of the two of you?
Obviously him.
I have to be, right? Somebody catches and beats me up.
Indian male, short distance, they come fast. So uske baad kuch nahi, don't worry.
No, we can do long distance.
She's not replying at all. She's letting it go. She's still in love with Savio. He taught me everything. Shaolin, 36 chambers.
So I'm nowhere in the picture right now.
Looks like it. Alright, so let's go back to those old days, 6, 7, 10 years back. Savio was training you and you're not interested in running for competition. You're just running because you're starting to enjoy it.
Yeah.
So take us through those early days. What was the culture like? Tell us, what were waking up in the morning? I mean, that's ridiculous. My wife puts the alarm for 4:30. I should have married a milkman.
Our friends disowned us also.
Yeah.
Because the thing was this, all of a sudden you all are running away on a Saturday at 9 in the morning to sleep. Is this what's happening?
Right.
Let us know he's sleeping in so early. There's something wrong.
It kills the social life.
Yeah, because we used to party till 4, 5 in the morning. There was a
time. Were you
time.
drinkers?
Yes.
Proper drinkers, good party animals?
Yeah, we used to.
Yes.
So this was a huge culture change, no? How to not do that because that side of yours is already there.
Yeah, it was quite tough. And like one of our friends even commented once, He said, once upon a time you all used to come at 4 in the morning back home, and now I see you all
You're leaving
heading
at
out
4. But in the same state, staggering and falling around because you're waking up, but then you're getting
Yeah,
back.
so it is that once.
So watchman in the building must be very confused.
Yeah, he
अभी
said-
साहब जा रहे हैं. पहले तो आ रहे थे, अभी जा रहे हैं. Amazing. But yeah, we joke about it, but it's a very. I was thinking when we talk about we'll talk about Pervin later as well. When people with full-time jobs and responsibilities, working long hours, and there are many of them who do that. Sunilullah Kamsuman, who used to be my boss at MTV, and then they can get up at 4 and do this run, which is arduous and tiring, and mentally taxing. It's not just physically taxing, and then do a whole day's work with responsibilities and all. I think it's a lot.
Well, you start getting used to it, and the fun that you have, the high that you get for getting on the morning and meeting those friends and running with them and talking, it really makes you get up and go in the morning.
But there are perils. For example, do all people brush their teeth? My wife's toothbrush is always dry. When I wake up and check it, doesn't look like anything's happened.
Are you going home back tonight?
She doesn't listen to all this. Don't worry. We're safe. Anything I do, my wife has no idea about. She thinks I work in legal
You're
field. Or
lucky, you're lucky.
yeah. She doesn't know my surname. She thinks it's Brocha. Woman's crazy. Yeah. No, but the early morning culture is a totally different culture. So just when you take us back to the beginning when you first did it, then you feel like, what the hell am I doing here? I mean,
Yeah,
why am I up at 4?
No, we enjoyed.
Yeah,
We enjoyed because both of us used to wake up at the same time. We used to feel like going for a morning date.
But initially sleeping early must have
morning
been...
date, according to her, it
Yeah,
wasn't
basically-
according to me
Boss.
anyway, because I had to run.
Take the morning date is the cheapest one. I've been fighting for morning date culture all over the world. It's the cheapest date because how much you going to pay? Vada
You mess
pav,
off your
eggs,
legs
think
by
about it.
by the time
And
you
you're getting
finish
fitter
10K.
also.
In the beginning, talking of even 5 kilometer running was a pain. I forget the date at any point.
I know. I suppose it brings you couples together because you share the same razor, that kind of thing, early morning. Aisha and I do, even though we don't run. She finishes and I use the same one. It just saves time. I must say, I shave faster, if you must know. I see you all don't want to discuss this topic. Rishi, you come back and talk to me personally later. Baad mein.
I sure will.
TV ke samne mat bolo yaar. It doesn't look good.
I'll learn how to save money from how the way you do it.
Morning ended for you. Look at it. You've conned. I mean, it's the ultimate date. You have conned this lovely woman to believing this is the experience of her life. You don't spend a rupee. You wear one chaddi. You run for 2 hours. You come back home. You don't eat or drink anything. You've not spent $1, and you've had an exercise and you have a companion. I think it's a fantastic piece of con job.
I
as far
know,
as
I
I'm
completely
concerned.
agree with you.
Okay, let's take it further. Let's now talk about how you got into this whole... the Savio circuit started happening and then the competition started, the marathon. What was the...
The marathon, of course, was
Standard
there before.
Chartered.
We joined Savio's group basically to train for the marathon because we knew he used to train people. And it was a very fun group, and everybody's so helpful and friendly that
I think over-friendly.
because they don't want to kill themselves alone by running
you
10K.
do realize you'll have become very insular. You do realize you'll have WhatsApp and websites which are only y'all.
Yeah, only-
you
we
realize
don't
that
want somebody
it's
else
almost
in
like
it.
one Greek play where you all are only the 50 runners who know each other and their life.
Yeah, right.
Discussing your pains, your aches, your
We
ligament
don't
tear,
want to know about anyone else
your diets. Oh God.
around the world.
No, I watch my wife at work, and it's always the same thing. What time tomorrow? Or where you starting from?
The reason-
Who's picking who up? I mean, who cares?
The reason they're so friendly, they don't want to run alone 10K and in pain, so they want somebody else also. So they're
But-
quite
but-
friendly. Please come.
No, but occasionally you do have these guys on bikes chasing you. I heard about those stories as well.
Yeah, those have happened, but of course not for me. It could be for her.
Don't worry, the market is open.
Okay.
Coming soon, Rishi. Coming soon.
I know.
Okay, now I want to get into the whole marathon thing, and then I want to get into Ironman as well. We've got lots to talk about. So tell us a little bit about this whole marathon culture, which I think has emerged in this generation, literally. And you guys are front runners of that, to use a pun. So the first marathon experience.
The first marathon was for me a really bad experience.
Which year is this?
This was 6 years back.
Okay.
Okay, and I was running and
Wait, I'm still
30
minusing, huh? 2016, 15, 14. Okay.
2010. You can
Go
say.
on.
2011.
Huh.
2011 was my first one, and I ran and I ran
Only
straight
you,
up.
Simran didn't run.
Even I ran.
She did the half. I said that if she can do the half marathon, I can do the full directly.
Achoo, little
So I
bit of
said,
macho.
so I
thing
said-
happened
Yeah,
on that.
always.
So I always thought that I was much stronger than her. So if she can do the half, I'll do the full. And I didn't realize till I reached 34 kilometers, and I said,
You had never run 42 before in your life.
I never run 42 before.
But you had run 21.
Never.
No.
For training, you never
For
ran
training,
21.
Just once or twice I did a 25. Because
Okay.
I was talking to Savio, and Savio says, okay, so you will be able to do it in 2 hours. I said, no, I don't think I can do it in 2 hours because everybody talks of 4.5. So he says, how much are you running? I said 42. Till that time, till a month before of the marathon, he didn't know that I was doing a 42. He all along thought I was doing a 21.
There's the problem with Cyrus. He's going on talking, not listening. A man's got to listen a little bit. But
So-
don't you ever get
So
tempted?
he
go
said
on.
you better run a little bit more because this is not going to help. So I tried to doing a 25 and I realized what pain is. My knees were wobbling.
This is practice.
This is practice.
Huh.
I said, okay, this is fine. But on
But
marathon day, it was something even worse.
But 25 to 42 is a big jump. I would
Yeah.
think maybe 35 to 42.
No, I had done only a 25 before.
And you felt confident you'll make it?
I had no time left. He said, now just go and do what you want. He was pretty angry at one point. He said, how can you ever think of doing it? I said, I'll do it. That's how it was.
So you went straight to 42.
I went straight for the
Again,
42.
36 chambers of Shaolin. You went right to the top. Now, you young lady, you were much smarter. You went straight to 21.
Yes, I
So
did.
how was your experience? You trained for it properly?
I did, but the first year, for some reason, I used to always get injured. The
During the run?
Yeah, while training. So my first year was
Aches and
quite...
pains.
Was it Aisha, my wife? Did she trip you or something? If you want to be open and frank, this is a good place to do it.
I want to
She's
run
very
with
competitive.
her.
That woman is very competitive.
I want to run with her.
I want to run from her.
She's my best buddy.
Everybody runs from their wives, right?
Yeah.
So I had to do a longer distance.
I run
right?
to other people's wives. So I've got this really bad habit.
But I
When
have
I
to
think
run
to a
from her,
marathon,
so I have to do a longer
this is
distance
the,
than her at
this
any
is the kind of
point.
marathon I want to be part of. You run to other people's wives. Point 1, point 2. I'll do 84. Forget 42. Yeah, so you did 21, but you were injured and you didn't complete it?
I did walk jog, but it took me really long
But
time.
were you happy with the... at the end
I
of
was
the day-
happy that I finished, yes. I was very happy.
But you knew you could have done better.
That year, no. I gave my best.
Do you remember the position?
Position, I don't know what it was. It must have been amongst the second
Don't they
last
give you
one.
like some kind of certificate or something?
Well, they just give you a medal and certificate. That itself keeps you happy for
So here's the great Standard Chartered business policy. You pay 10,000 rupees to start running and then they give you a piece of paper which is recycled with your name on it. I think that's fantastic. That's great business acumen. I salute
and
them.
we run for that.
And you run for that. And you feel happy.
Yeah,
And you carry the
happy.
brand with
We
all the
train the
stuff.
whole year for
there
that
you
also.
go. There you go. So how did you do in the 42, that first year?
Well, at 34, I just stopped running because I said I can't take this anymore. And someone came and started cheering, run, 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 just a few kilometers left. I said, you wear my shoes.
A stranger came or somebody you know?
Stranger. And I was so irritated, I literally want to hit the person. I said, you run and show me what's it like after 34. Well, I just finished.
No, like a spectator was telling you or someone who was running.
Well, the crowd is always there. The
Oh,
crowd
right,
support
right.
is quite
Yeah,
good. So they
yeah.
keep cheering you and tell you to run. So that's how. But I felt it. It was painful.
But you completed it.
I did complete it.
And
Yeah.
what was the position? Did you get any like...
I finished in 4 hours 34 minutes. So I don't know. Must be somewhere.
Why didn't you
behind.
just take a car or a taxi for a little bit of the... I mean, can they tell?
See, that's the problem. They don't have any cars on the road on that day.
Scooter, bike, cycle?
No friends also.
No friends, obviously. If your social life is get up at 4 in the morning and go for a run, how many pals you going to have?
I know that.
So what happens to alcohol? You don't drink at all?
Well,
You
alcohol
save it up
limit, the alcohol limit in my blood is nil right now, as
Really?
of now.
And so you don't party at all?
No, we do. It's not that we don't.
You have no friends, you don't party, but
No,
you really
we-
enjoy the marathon. And you don't do drugs either. Well, amazing life, man. It's an amazing story of perseverance,
I know.
self-punishment.
Well, now that you're telling me about all this,
Now
I'm
you're
going to change
regretting
my
it.
lifestyle.
It's all Savio's
again.
fault. It's all Savio's fault.
it's
No,
all
jokes
for
apart, guys. Do you go out or not?
Of course
Yeah,
we
we
do.
do.
But
Bombay
so-
Gym, our favorite.
Oh, you
Friday
should.
night. Of
Friday
course we
night.
do.
So what about Saturday morning? You don't run.
Saturday morning we don't run.
So you run Sunday, so you don't go out Saturday night, but you can go out Friday night. Am I right?
Yeah,
Yes.
right.
Okay. And
So we changed our friends to party also on Friday nights.
the poor guys, they were thinking they have no choice.
We haven't told them yet. so it's still this thing.
And you'll run together still?
Yeah,
we go together.
We go together,
Then
but
we
she
run
has her
different-
own
I have my
set of
pace
friends.
is different than his.
Who's faster?
Obviously him.
God, there was a long silence there. I meant in running, who's faster?
Me.
God, what's the awkward question here?
I run faster than
We
her.
have to take a break, then we'll come back about the Ironman. But before that, one last question. Are you competitive at home because of this? I'm just thinking like when they say husband and wife should not work in the same environment because, you bring the business home. So now this is more than just a hobby, okay? It's like
Yeah. It
really
gets very
very
competitive
deep
at
in your,
times
in
if
your
you say
family
that.
world, life, etc. All your friends will vouch for that. So what happens at home? Do you discuss marathon and aches and
Yes,
pains?
we love. I feel as if I've got one of my runner friend home, and you're only talking.
Are there kids? You have kids?
Yeah, and in
So-
fact they get bored. They see only
That's
us talking. The mom, dad, we
It's
are
not
also
me
there,
talking also. It's only her talking. The same way it's the way at your home. It's
Yeah.
only she talking.
and we
about
love
it.
because same topic.
I
right?
just have to listen. Okay.
But don't you get bored of it, this whole marathon experience and running
No,
and
we love
pace
it.
and
We
aches
love
and
it.
this
I
and that?
love it.
Really?
Yeah.
She loves it.
Fun.
You're okay. You're forced
Yeah,
to do
I'm
it, is it?
okay. I'm okay.
You're
with
not paying
anything.
attention. You've been married too long now.
Yeah,
You have no
right.
idea. Wake me up when I have to run.
Yeah, right.
Okay, fair enough. We'll take a quick break. We'll come back. Lots to talk about with Rishi and Simran. The whole Ironman thing, which is a different ball game. Let's put it into perspective. Running is one thing. Ironman is taking it to another level altogether. When we come back, why Rishi has lost his mind completely and wastes his time doing all these things in his middle age instead of finding a girl and having an affair like everybody else.
Hi, I'm Amit Verma, the host of the weekly podcast The Seen and the Unseen. In my show, I examine the seen effects and the unintended consequences of public policy and private action. I show how policies meant to help the poor often end up hurting the poor. I've done episodes so far on demonetization, GST, surgical strikes, immigration and MRP. And I will continue my forensic assault on the truth in the weeks to come.
Catch the show every Monday on the IVM Podcast app or any other podcasting app that you prefer. Or visit seenunseen.in for all the latest updates.
All right, back here with Rishi Lalwani and Simran, two expert athlete runners who've decided to conquer worlds such as the Ironman. Rishi, before we talk about it, what the hell is the Ironman? Because I've seen the franchise, I've seen the films, and okay, but I prefer Batman, to be frank.
Well, the Ironman is a 3.8k swim in the sea. And
I like the way you just negated my joke. It's like of no importance to you whatsoever. The superheroes don't exist. Yeah, 3.8 kilometers.
Swim in the sea.
Mm-hmm.
Immediately followed with 180 kilometers of biking.
Oh my God.
That's more than Bombay-Pune distance.
I mean, this is what you do when you catch a terrorist and say, I want a confession. I mean, why? What's nice
Well,
about
that's
this?
just halfway through, and after that you still have to run a full marathon of 42 kilometers.
Okay, so this is without stopping, right?
Yeah, immediately one after
So
the
let's
other.
understand. You first do a 3.8 kilometer swim.
Yes.
Who in their right mind would do that unless you're lost at sea and the boat capsized? Fair enough. Then you go to a 180 kilometer bike ride.
Yeah.
That's putting your buttocks on a tight seat. I've seen those cycles. And your testicles are right over the tip of that.
On the Lycra shorts.
Lycra shorts, which are very tight. And how long, average time for that 180 is how much?
Take you at least 6 to 6.5 hours.
6.5 hours, and maybe more for someone who's new to it.
Yeah.
With your body parts, your beautiful body parts that you used to love,
Yeah.
in that terrible hung position, ugh, cramped and crunched, alone,
Your family
unhappy, in
jewels.
pouring rain. No longer family, just jewels. Family doesn't care. And after that, mind you, after all this, you get off and you run the full marathon,
The full
which
marathon.
normal people take 6 months to prepare for without doing anything else.
Yeah.
Why would anybody do this? Is this because somebody's girlfriend left them and the guy is in a lot of pain and wants to just experience more pain? Would that be the reason? Because what kind of moron would think of this? I can't understand. Awkward moment number 36. Yes, Rishi, take your time.
It's a very tough thing to answer as to how I
Why
got
would you
into
do
it.
it? The jokes apart, why why? It's too much,
Well,
man.
it was something which never, like the same thing, how even you can't fathom into your mind, is the same thing. I just couldn't put it into my mind as to how to bike 180k or how to swim 3.8.
You just told us about the 42 kilometers. You reached 34. You
Yeah.
felt your world is crumbling.
Yeah.
Why would you? I mean, that's bad enough. I mean, you're working a full-time job. You've got a family, a wife, all that. Why would you put yourself through this? I mean, this is just ridiculous.
I know as runners,
Stand up!
As runners, we don't feel like stopping at the 42. You know, there's always something more to it, you know, to get the new high. And that's how I heard about this. And I
So,
said,
how many years you've done the marathon for a couple of years before you
6
heard about
years. 6 years.
it? So,
I
when
the
did you start the Ironman?
Well, I got to know around 3 years back through Sanjay Dalal. You know, he had done it before quite a
Right.
few times. So I got to know about
Before we talk about Sanjay Dalal, isn't the Ironman Mohan Bhai? No, that's my iron wala, the Eastri wala. I'm so sorry. I apologize to anyone listening to this. I don't know why that came up. Let's talk about Sanjay Dalal, who, by the way, I used to live in the same building when Tala Dalal's son, the famous,
Yeah.
arguably the biggest, cookbook writer and
Right.
cuisine
Yes.
expert of all time. So I've seen him. He runs up and down like he has no job all the time. You see this guy, he's really thin and with a big head, and he runs up and down. I've seen him. And I've shouted Sanjay,
Yeah.
but you know,
He refused to listen to you.
he-
No wonder you talk
because
like this.
He has,
He's not going to listen
he has
to
some
you
stuff in
anymore.
his ear, mostly hair, but also Walkman
You
car
got,
things.
you
Yeah.
got his Walkman and running with
Yeah.
it.
Oh, don't worry. I know his brother better, Deepak, who doesn't run at all. Okay, so Sanjay was like the inspiration. Tell us, so what does Sanjay do?
Well, Sanjay always trains a lot, in terms of swimming, running or biking. And I just met him once at the club. And I was pretty inspired by what he was doing, especially on that day I met him. He loves to show off the t-shirt that he had of the Ironman, which said the 3.8k swim with the 180k bike and the 42 run.
Was he wearing pants also, or just the t-shirt?
You just see that. I don't look below. I didn't look below.
Because Simran is sitting here. Tell me later. I'm quite aroused by Sanjay. 3.8, false advertising. I say 4. No, but just put us through your mind space. And Simran, please cut in here and tell us, did you all think you've done enough now? As a respectable urban couple from an affluent background in Cuff Parade, Mumbai, etc., it just seems a little odd that you'd want to do all this. This is almost like a professional job now. Because look at what it's taking from you mentally, physically, and the training is now triple the training of this damn thrice a week, 4 times a week marathon training, which is a long time.
But even I would love to do Ironman. So since he wanted to
Is it a gender issue?
Well, it took us 6 years to think about it. 6 years we're just running marathon, and it had got quite into our blood. We could easily do a 42. It's not that running would just come quite naturally, in 6 years.
But aren't you worried about the swimming part, especially because iron will rust? moving forward.
Yeah,
so now tell us, so Sanjay Dalal is the one who coaches you. What was your next step?
Sanjay did inspire me into getting into it. So as soon as I spoke to him and I saw his shirt, and he did tell me, you get it at the finish line. So 48 hours later, I had signed for it.
So you met him and in 48 hours you decided to do this?
Yes,
I just decided 48 hours later.
Is your husband very impulsive? Sounds a little nuts to me, man. And I say this with a lot of respect. I'm not saying this in a bullshit way. But because
running itself was quite impulsive for us when we first took it up. So,
what do you do for a job? Let's talk about that for a minute.
Well, I'm into freight forwarding and custom clearance.
Okay, you're a custom clearance agent sort of guy.
Right.
Okay, so what happens to the business? Do you go and fall asleep at work? I mean, early morning you're doing all this?
Well, when I started off with this, it did land up like I started dozing on my office table at times, or telling the staff, don't transfer any phones inside. Okay, I'm sleeping right now.
or imagine telling the staff, he's like, guys, lunch break, I'm going for a swim. Because you have to train. You can't
I know,
break.
That's happened too. Like in the afternoon, I've gone for a run. Like, okay, today office getting over early. Let's change and let's start off a run.
Imagine Rishi, a delivery guy comes, courier, on a cycle. You're like, bhai, वो package डाल दो, मेरे को cycle दे दो 2 minute.
I'll go and deliver.
He borrows 2 rounds, he does some package delivery, comes back. Man, you're a hero, man. You must be a real hit with these guys.
Yeah.
So you'll have no sensitivity towards people saying that, I'll really late आ गया, train late आ गया, sir. You're like, man, I'm up from 4 in the morning, I've done my run, now I'm going to go for my swim in the middle, and the night I'm going to cycle. So I can imagine the standards are very different.
Well, you start juggling with your work in between, and you do end up sleeping.
So you're training every day for Ironman. It's a different schedule.
Yeah, it's a different schedule. So it's nothing got to do like what plain running is at all. I would say that. Of course, I took it up as a fun thing. Like, okay, let's do it. It's an adventure and all that. But going ahead, if you have to do this, you have to get a little bit serious and disciplined. And like that, Sanjay was a little bit stern, he used to use a stick at times, literally, like, to drill it into me that this is not just fun stuff.
So tell us your schedule. How do you train for this? Because now this is 3 disciplines.
Yeah, 3 disciplines, so it's quite tough. So on certain days, I used to, of course, do each discipline separately, but for a longer period of time. On certain days, I used to mix it up also. Like, I used to swim and bike, or I used to run and then go for a swim, or I used to swim.
This is consecutive. So you'll swim, you'll get out of the water,
and then just
put on your tights and go on the bike.
Yeah, go on the bike
without stopping, literally.
Yeah, just a few 5 minutes because you change in the club and then you head out.
And different muscles get used, right? So half the challenge must be that you work one set of muscles in the water, and then when you come, your lower body is experiencing something totally different.
Yeah, so this is known as a brick workout. That's what you get to get used to.
You say brick or prick?
Brick workout.
Because if you said prick, I'm in. I need that workout. Brick, I'm not interested. What is brick? Tell us.
It's a brick workout where you do 2 disciplines one after the other. So you got to get used to it. Basically, your muscle, your mind, your body has to all get used to it together.
You ever feel like giving up when you're doing it? Like it's a tiring day ahead and all that. You never feel negative? Are you on steroids?
No, not at all.
Do you cheat?
But no cheating.
It's all about the bike.
It's
bike. Not about the bike.
I have a good bike. You have to have a good bike to get onto it. So that's what kept me going also. You have a nice bike to ride.
What does Simran say about all this now, the schedule being much more?
No, I was okay with it. I knew it's not going to last for long. Only 11,
I'm
12
going to
In your
drop
face,
dead.
beta! In
I'm
your
going to drop
face!
dead in a few days.
Is that
Yeah,
it?
I knew.
Is
Okay,
that the
fine.
idea?
Yeah,
You find yourself another Ironman. Hello, Sanjay Dalal, please. Or koi hai?
No, because of the training, I said, okay, fine. Now 10 months are left. You know, I knew it's not going. It's going to be. It's going to be worth
running,
it.
of course, I would say like Aisha would be getting up at 5 o'clock for a 6 o'clock morning run.
Last year was more like 4 o'clock, but now you all have made the timing a little bit longer, I think. But they
So-
get up at 5 now, yeah.
So, but for this, I had to get up on weekdays at least at 4 in the morning. So start off at 5, so you get more.
So 5 to 8 is your training time.
Yeah, 5 to 8 was my training time on weekdays. And on Sundays, I used to be up at 3 in the morning.
So on your rest day, you get up at 3 in the morning and go on till 10 in the night.
Yeah, on Sundays, it would be like we start off at 4 for cycling, which used to go on for 6 hours. And we could possibly put in a run after that for half an hour, 45 minutes.
So now what's the point of having a car and all that? Now, because you do all this transportation of yourself through legs and wheels with pedals. So do you actually feel like driving a car is so unchallenging for you?
It took me a long time to reach here. I think if I had a bike, I would
Yeah,
reach
or
faster.
run.
Run is of course, but I would
See,
have
I have
loved
a
to
question
bike
for
all the
you.
way.
When you run from South Mumbai, our studio where we're recording for people listening is of course in Khar, which is North Bombay. When you go from south to north, you cross the ceiling by foot. Do you pay the ceiling toll? Or do you have to pay only if you're a transport vehicle?
Only if you're on the
Good
wheels.
question.
Only if you're on
Good question.
wheels.
Good question. But now let's get back to Simran for a second. Do you now get tempted to do the Ironman?
Yes,
or
yes.
Iron Woman or Iron
It's
People?
Ironman. Yes, I'm getting
Iron Maiden?
inspired.
Iron Maiden is good?
I'm training to take part in Tri-Olympic. The Olympic
What is
size.
Tri-Olympics? Like I want to try at the Olympics.
No,
What
the
is
Olympic
Tri-Olympics?
size. No, it's like
This is what happened in Rio with most of our athletes. Yeah. Yeah.
So this is like 1.5k swim,
1.5. So it's less than the 3.8.
Yeah.
So what is this, like a junior version?
junior Olympic size,
Okay.
and then 20k bike,
Right.
and then 5k run.
So it's much, no disrespect, but it's like, I won't say bacha ka khel, but it's much
But
less.
it's
But
quite
this is
a
how I'm
bit.
going. This is how I'm going to go step
Acha,
by
so
step.
then after this you increase
Yes,
to
yes,
that. What
yes.
is this called? The junior version?
This is called
Olympic-
the Olympic.
So you've done that?
I straight away went for the full Ironman.
So you went for 42 straight away, you went full Ironman straight away.
Yes.
You don't waste time. You want to be
Yeah.
Prime Minister. No chief ministership
Yeah,
for
no
you.
chief-
I get it. I understand now. You're a sick man, but a good man. That's the main thing. Yeah. So that's amazing. So are you like the Iron couple? Is there any other couple who does this? I don't think from our knowledge we have anybody where both the husband and the wife are so into the sport and are training.
No, of course
There
there
are
may
No,
be.
for
many.
Ironman, not for marathon.
Not for.
Oh, try it.
For try, I doubt.
I'm sure
there are-
must be there, but we don't.
So
know.
let's lie and say you are and make you into the first special couple of the Ironman world. Congratulations, the Lalwani.
you.
Thank
Thank
you.
The first Iron couple. Be careful when you pass security check because you
Yeah,
beep
I
a
know.
lot. Yeah. So where do you go from here now? Obviously, you've won new challenges all the time. So what else is there to do?
Well, we keep looking at improvising or becoming better
Huh.
at what we are doing. Like how we did for marathon. The first year was really bad. Was 4 hours 32, and next year we did better.
And now what do you do for marathon? Plain marathon,
Around 3:45.
but this is without the Ironman.
Yeah, without the Ironman.
Okay. And with the
3:45.
Ironman, your timing?
was 4 hours 11 that day after my swim and the bike. And
So
then
how
I
many
still
hours
have,
were you doing this thing for without stopping?
13 hours plus. I finished the whole thing in 13 hours 43 minutes.
13 hours 43 minutes.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
And
You
the
know how many
weather-
butter chickens I could have had in that time? Jeez. 13 hours 43 minutes.
The weather was really tough out there.
Where was it?
This was in Sweden, in Kalmar, in the sea. And
So the government of India pays for you to go to Sweden and do this?
no way, you pay from
The
your own
government of
pocket.
Lalwani pays? Who pays?
The government of Lalwani. You
Damn
pay
it.
for your own.
So here's our message to the government of India. Here is a poor family who needs your support. So they can go on many different try experiences, Olympic, junior try, Ironman try, senior try across the world. I'm sure there are many competitions, right?
Yeah, there are many around across the world.
Right. The government will contact you guys thanks to our show, which is broadcast in Parliament, Lok Sabha, Rajya Sabha. During sessions, even when the session's off, they play our show. So they'll get back to you. Don't
Thanks
worry
a
about
lot.
That's very kind of you, Cyrus.
No, but before we wind up, I need to know a little bit about your diet. We were discussing this because people don't know how seriously you take this. It's a whole cultural change. And people who don't know about this don't realize it's not like playing squash or baddie, where you just go and play and chat with your boys and come back home. This is much more. You have to think about your diet, your food, your sleep, etc. So just take us through the preparation properly.
Well, of course, I took it up. It was a challenge, I would say, and diet, everything plays an important role. Physically, you have to be fit. At one particular point, it's not about training your body at all. It's all about training your mind. It's your mind that has to say that it is fit to go the distance. That's what it is all about. It's not, the body will go to the distance.
So what do you take? You take BCAs? How do you manage?
How do you know what BCAA is?
I know a little bit here and there.
Okay, now, of course, I had to change my diet a lot, and that meant no alcohol. So I wouldn't be friends with you ever.
No, I'm also, because of financial constraints, going slow.
Okay. So
Too much Johnny, no
alcohol
Walker.
was out.
Oh.
TV was out.
Why TV?
No
How does it
TV.
make a difference?
So I could sleep early and get up early
Oh.
for my workouts. TV was out. All this plays an important role into getting disciplined.
Mm-hmm.
And
You all sleep in the same bedroom, if I may ask, or separate rooms?
Yeah, same room.
Okay, all right.
Of course, we haven't reached that level.
But still, I crashed before him, by the way.
So how's the love life? All good, no?
All good, don't worry.
With these strange cultural habits that you have. I don't know, I'm trying to think of which generation was like this. I can't think of any.
No, it's all
Even
good.
war, let me tell you, war was more fun. Generation grown up in war, yeah.
So, of course, food habits change a lot, and she did help because she also started following the same food habits, because it's very tough for a single person to follow it. Minimalistic carbs and more of a good fat diet. You would love the good fat diet, if I would say. Cheese.
I like everything.
Okay, like everything.
Well, not everything.
Okay, like a lot of dry fruits and cheese and wholesome carbs a little bit. And it kept changing as the diet, as the workouts kept changing.
So what's your weight now? What weight do you carry?
My weight would be around 66, 67.
Wow, that's really...
Before I started off this diet, I got this diet from Rupali Mehta.
Right.
And I think I was somewhere around 76 kilos. So she did help
And now
me
you and
lose.
Rupali the same weight?
Yeah, looks
It's
like.
amazing.
Yeah. I can give her a competition on that front at least.
Yeah. And Simran, may I ask you, were you always naturally lean like this, or you also become like this because of the running?
Because of running.
You asked her to show her school photos.
Really? Were you a bubbly girl? We seen a bubbly girl. Were you bubbly?
Yes.
Oh, sweetie.
She wouldn't want to
sweet,
show
bubbly
those
girl.
photos of us.
That's
Nor would I.
It's amazing. Do you realize there's a lot of people we grew up with, they were very athletic when they were young and become really fat and out of shape later. And the opposite happens with some people who were not athletic when they were young and really come into their own in their 30s and 40s.
That's what my friends from college and school contacted me, and they said, like, are you the same one that we, like, when I sent them the video of me finishing the end part, finishing the Ironman, they said,
We knew a Rishi Lalwani who looks like you, but
this is not you. I said, that's me out there finishing it, because they always have seen me on the fatter side,
It's an amazing story. I've been making fun and pulling your legs. But I think it's an amazing story because you're happy, you're smiling, you're almost like Savio infection has come to you.
Yeah,
and both of you are
I
laughing
would
and
love
smiling
it if
through it.
the younger generation would follow it also, because when we were out there,
Yeah, but tell them to run on the pavement or on the fields. Don't run in the middle of the road. That's all I'm asking. And cycle left lane. It's called left lane. In India, we have a big problem. The left is finished. The Communist Party doesn't exist. So the left lane doesn't exist. Left lane for two-wheelers.
okay, we'll
Please,
see
just
that next
adhere to
time.
law. I don't want to kill runners for nothing. I feel so bad. Every time I run around, I hit a runner, I go, Mr. Sharma, I'm so sorry I did that. But, the guy's dead then, because it's a car versus a 67 kilos. It's not a fair fight. Yeah.
So, of course, Rupali helped me a lot on that front, and
she herself is a runner, right?
she's a very good runner. She would kill me in the run, even the swim. So I don't know how to teach her how to bike now. I said, she tells me, like, another 3 weeks, I want the bike set up. I said, no way, I'm not going to help her on that. Otherwise, I'm in for trouble out there too.
Yeah, speaking of bike, do you have to train on a stationary bike ever? No. It has to be.
In the rains, we used to go onto the stationary bike.
But is it the same thing?
I don't prefer the stationary bike. I love the outdoors better.
Also, the variables of the road and all. Now, how do you can't replicate that?
You can't replicate that also. I agree to that. And so to replicate, you see, on the stationary bike, you have to have the fan in front, to get that wind effect and all that. But I still prefer the roads. It's much better. But getting up early in the morning, at 4 in the morning, I know you're not going to be there to run me on the road.
4 you're safe.
Yeah.
But 6 o'clock, I'll be coming down the mountain. You be very careful.
So then I have to start earlier then.
Full on. I'm fast twitch fiber. I'll be sprinting. Don't you worry. You run for 13 hours. Ours is 45 seconds of pleasure, I tell the ladies. Now 35 because of age, but yeah, what the hell. Yeah, it's an explosion. Anyway, guys, you've been wonderful. Thank you for being on the show. We have one more thing. You want to say something else?
Yeah,
Please.
even on the swim, like I used to practice in the swimming pool, and
which is
Wellington or Breach Candy.
Okay, in the pool,
yeah,
which is what do you call it? Non-sea water.
Yeah, and the day of the event was literally the first day I actually jumped into open water.
Which is the sea, right?
Which is the sea, and it was really
And in India,
cold.
the sea you can't see.
Yeah, you
Because
can't
it's like
see.
oil and pollution
Everybody,
and garbage and some dead people and all that.
So it was tough getting used to that also on the event day itself. But the crowd support out there, the euphoria that is there, I would say even here for
Are
the
you a
marathon.
sex symbol now? You think women look at you and say, wow, Rishi.
I
Look at
don't
Simran,
know.
look at Simran. Wow. She's smiling. She's almost happy.
So the crowd support.
Yeah, answer my question. Are you a sex symbol?
I don't know. I have no idea.
Do ladies come up to you and, what do you think?
Well, she's here right now.
So what?
I'll tell you later.
That is our open society. Just speak openly.
I don't know. What's it like?
Rishi, I'm just fooling around. Don't worry about it. Wonderful. Very interesting experience. Yours. And I hope people get inspired by both of you. Iron couple, as we called you.
Yeah, we just want the younger generation to get into it earlier than what we did.
And not play PSP.
Yeah, and not play PSP. I push my son also and my daughter. They also run. My daughter Malika and my son Jan. They run, they bike. Swimming, of course, I will help them get into that also over a period of time. But they are good also. In
All right. Rishi, sorry, we're running out of time. We're going to go straight into a thing called the AMAs, which is a very interesting part where we ask you questions about things other than running. So just stay there. 2 minutes.
Hello there, my name is Naveen Narona, and as a gay person in India, I get asked a lot of stupid questions.
Beta, is it LGBT or eligibility?
How do two men procreate?
Bro, is Grindr better than Tinder or what?
We answer all these questions and much more on my podcast, Keeping It Queer, where I talk to individuals from the LGBT community in India and learn about their personal stories. Catch all the episodes on the IVM podcast app or any other podcasting app you like. Till then, keep it queer.
If you have any questions for Cyrus, write to us on Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram. Or you can send an email to whatcyrussays@gmail.com.
All right, we have our proprietor, Mr. Amit Doshi, who himself is a marathoner. As you can see, him and me, we lead the marathon revolution. We're the only marathoners who ran 2 steps and said, cancelled.
Yes.
Never again.
2 steps? You made it the second?
I did the second. I just wanted to show up, make you feel bad,
yeah.
give you a complex. Okay, what do you got for us?
All right. The first question I got is, what is the weirdest thing you've ever found in your refrigerator?
Mr. Lalwani, Mrs. Lalwani, what is the weirdest thing you've ever... Don't tell me Savio shorts.
No, not at all.
Because I can believe that. Now she's surprised. What?
I'm thinking.
The weirdest thing was the first time was ice packs which she had kept.
Oh, they're fantastic.
The ice packs she had kept so that she can use it after the run, but she had not bought the ice packs. She had kept in plastic.
That blue
The
thing.
blue
Yeah, the
ones,
plastic.
It looks like whale blubber. I use it a lot.
I was actually wondering what's this. That was quite.
I'm a huge fan of that whole ice
Yeah,
pack thing.
I love the
and I
blue
put it
ones.
on my brain, which is very dangerous, and I find it...
The runners
gives
put
me
it on their
swimming.
knees. The runners put it on their knees.
That's your brain. That's where you think from. Yeah,
All right,
ice packs. Very nice.
The next question we have is, this actually probably works for Rishi. What is the best way to take care of or get rid of sweat-induced calluses on your body?
Callus like this?
Yeah, I didn't know there was such a thing as sweat-induced calluses. Is there such a
calluses
thing
that
as
come from the
sweat-induced
skin?
calluses?
I don't think they're from
No,
sweat. They're from wear and tear of
Yeah,
the
it's like
bars.
that,
and-
yeah,
Yes,
exactly,
due to
yeah.
weights.
Yeah,
Due to
if you get
weights,
rusty
yeah.
bars,
Right.
you'll have them.
So
Yeah.
I guess it's an
Yeah, or if
indication.
you've got really old wives, mine, for example.
Or if you're cycling, but then if you're cycling, you wear those cycling gloves. So
Right.
it's-
How can you
No,
wear
but
those
it's all
dainty gloves?
shaking, right?
I don't
Your
have a problem
fingers
with people
popping
in-
out.
Unless you're Michael Jackson, I don't know why people can wear... how do you wear gloves?
The
You're doing
cycling
this macho
gloves?
Iron Man thing and you got gloves
You
on?
got the cycling gloves
What
with
are
the
you gonna
fingers
serve
cut
drinks?
off.
I'm going to do a ballet for you.
Whenever I see those fingers cut off the gloves, I can't help
Listen,
but think
when
of
I see guys
those
with gloves
80s
in the
dance
gym,
movies.
I want to take them for some choreography class or something.
Yeah,
Let's
no, it's
go
the 80s
dancing.
dance movies, right?
Really.
That's what
Absolutely,
yeah, that's
80s dance, you're bang on.
movies, right? I mean, like the break
Staying
dance.
alive! Staying alive! Like 70s.
Yeah, the stimuli study. I think this is more like.
Before India's 80s, because we get the movies after
okay,
some.
all right. No, I'm thinking of that. What was that? Flashdance and like those
yeah.
movies. Yeah,
This is worse than
Saturday
porn.
Night
You have this
Flashdance.
collection with you.
Flashdance is worse than porn.
Of course, it's the worst movie I've ever seen in my life.
Flashdance, really?
Okay, Sabaria, but the second worst.
Okay.
Next
All right,
question.
that's all we got, man.
Okay, that's it. Do you want to say something in concludo? You want to thank your Worley 545 group?
Yeah,
bunch of monkeys who hang around you all day. Come on.
Yeah, they are one hell of people. They're so passionate about the bike. In Worley 545, there is Nikhil Raghavan, there is Jaideep Khanna, Dr. Aditya Daftari, Arun Saigal, Neil.
It sounds like a bad boy band, man. It's like One Direction.
You would
come
love
back
to be with
DC.
them. You join us and you will realize what's biking like.
I swear on God, I don't want to be another man, an Indian man ever in my life. I'm done. You give me the ugliest woman that you know, I'm happy. But do not put me next to men. And not 5 sweaty men running around Worley.
They're so passionate about their bikes, I can tell you. And they really helped me a lot on my biking stuff. All of them helped me a lot.
Sounds like a Miss India answer, but Jesus, it's fun. Thank you for being on the show, both of you. Lalwanis, rock on.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, catch us on any of the podcasting apps, please. We beg you, we need you. If you have any questions, write to us online, and you can mail us as well. We will answer. We have a doctor in the house called me.
And that's what Cyrus says.
Drinks and Destinations with Rojita and Samira. That's right, Rojita Wo Sikandar. That was another film, but you need a drink to get through that. You need to know more about drinks, Rojita and Samira. Don't call them after 10. Check out new episodes on our IVM podcast apps. Happy listening, mother and fathers.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is your captain speaking. Sorry to say, but there's been a slight delay due to the apocalypse having suddenly begun. As you can see, there's death, destruction, and chaos taking place all around us. But don't you worry, food and drinks will be served shortly, and I would recommend checking out IVM Podcasts to get some of your favorite Indian podcasts. We'll keep you going till this whole thing blows over. Thank you.